Welcome back. Prime Minister Alan Shasney says he awaits resolve in the investigations into the scandal surrounding Dr. Eubaldus Raymond. The disgraced politician was embroiled in a series of salacious phone calls which made their way into the public domain, forcing him to resign from his position as Public Service Minister.
The information that I have is that the MLATs were sent off to Trinidad, which would then allow the team to be able to go. So my understanding is they're either gone or going to go. I try to stay away from the investigation as much as possible, and I want to say that there's a difference between details of the investigation and the administration of the investigation. So on the administration, I continue to put pressure on that this be done in as a timely way, because again, I think it's very unfair to Dr. Raymond in that allegations have been made against him, and he has paid the heaviest price of all, and the fact that he's outside of my cabinet. He's a person I have a tremendous amount of confidence in, and I would certainly like to be able to use his skill set. So I'm kind of stymied at this point, and that I can't proceed until I know that his name and the reputation of my government has also been cleared. So there's a lot at stake for me as well. I take this very, very seriously.
To clarify, does the Prime Minister mean the current administration would work with Dr. Raymond in the future?
I think that Dr. Raymond has talents, and he did make an impact in my government, and I was very happy with the work that he was doing. And I would certainly like to be able to use him, if it's not back in my cabinet, in a different form. But I feel at this point that I cannot do that. Both the reputation of my government as well as the reputation of Dr. Raymond needs to be cleared, and the public solution needs to know, to the best of all of our abilities, what actually transpired, because there were some allegations that were made. We'd like to get those things resolved.
Prior to the leaked telephone conversations, Dr. Raymond found himself involved in another situation which involved blackmail, leading to nude photographs allegedly of the minister being circulated on social media. There is no backing down in sight by both the LGBT community and the religious sector, as the two entities have reached a deadlock over the possible hosting of the first ever St. Lucia Pride Parade. Tresha Lionel sat with a religious leader for her talk show The Hot Seat, and he shared his thoughts on the matter. The religious sector and the local LGBT community are at a deadlock on the will they, won't they topic of an impending Pride Parade. Whilst United and Strong continues to promote the festivities which aim to celebrate members of the community and their human rights, the local religious sector has continued to lambaste the two-day celebration, which is set for August 24th through to the 26th. On the 28th of last month, Trinidad and Tobago hosted its second Pride Parade, and Jessica St. Rose, who is St. Lucia's Pride Committee Chairperson and Board Secretary of United and Strong, was present. St. Lucia, she said, was up next. Seth Ampadu, who is the Superintendent Minister of the Methodist Church, sat with Tresha Lionel for the hot seat, where he insisted that St. Lucia playing host to such an event could set a dangerous precedent and open a gateway to more acts of ungodliness.
The question is why these people, they chose St. Lucia and not any other place, you know? So that we are looking at people coming to us. There is nothing wrong about it, but what they are going to do. And I asked the question, assuming after they have come and gone, if another group says that we are armed robbers, so we are also coming in to hold our rallies. If prostitutes also decide to come together, if those people who are interested in animals, they also come together to say that we are also going to hold rally. What kind of society?
But do you think gay people are on the level of, because you mentioned animals, do you consider bestiality and that sort of thing? Do you think that's the same thing? Do you equate it to be the same thing?
I'm not saying that, but we are saying that as far as Christianity is concerned, these things are not right.
Lionel highlighted the fact that over the years, a more tolerant approach has been taken to the topic of homosexuality by different religious sects, mainly the Catholic Church. When asked whether there should be more tolerance on the part of St. Lucian religious leaders, Ampadu said there is already an adequate level of it. He also denied the perpetuation of intolerance.
The question is why these people, they chose St. Lucia and not any other place. you know. So that we are looking at people coming to us. There is nothing wrong about it, but what they are going to do. And I asked the question, assuming after they have come and gone, if another group says that we are armed robbers, so we are also coming in to hold our rallies. If prostitutes also decide to come together, if those people who are interested in animals, they also come together to say that we are also going to hold rally. What kind of society?
But do you think gay people are on the level of, because you mentioned animals, do you consider bestiality and that sort of thing? Do you think that's the same thing? Do you equate it to be the same thing?
I'm not saying that, but we are saying that as far as Christianity is concerned, these things are not right.
Ampadu said one must love the sinner but hate the sin, and so whilst he called for members of the LGBT community to be respected, he stood resolute in his belief that a pride parade in St. Lucia cannot and should not be accepted, as the act in itself does not fit the society. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez. Over the weekend of the 2nd to the 5th of August, the St. Lucia Fire Service Department responded to a total of 99 emergency calls, of which 94 were medical in nature. Assistant Divisional Officer David Antoine walks us through the pressing emergencies responded to over the weekend, which included 9 motor vehicular accidents and 1 near drowning.
On Friday, 2nd of August, at approximately 8:07 p.m., fire officers from the Castries and Barbano fire stations responded to a motor vehicle accident at Bexon, where a motorcar and a truck collided into each other. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated the drivers of the 2 vehicles who were the sole occupants at the time. They were subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical attention. On Saturday, 3rd August, at approximately 1:26 p.m., fire officers from the Meekwood Fire Station responded to a near-drowning incident at Angers. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel, assisted by fishermen, rescued a 24-year-old male from the rocks. He was treated for pain to the shoulders and subsequently transported to the St. Jude's Hospital for further medical attention. The fire department also responded to 1 fire call, which was a structural fire at Grosley.
Antoine says the structural fire occurred at Dauphin Street, Grosley on Sunday, the 4th of August at around 8:19 p.m.
The structure consisted of a 15 by 20 feet concrete and wooden dwelling. On arrival at the scene, fire officers were able to confine the fire to the room of origin and subsequently extinguishing it. As a consequence, the structure suffered severe fire damage.
Antoine says as it stands, the cause of fire has not yet been determined and the matter is currently being investigated by the St. Lucia Fire Service Department. Furthermore, Antoine notes that there was a decline in emergency calls over the said weekend.
I must say there was a reduction in the number of calls, and particularly so the number of road accidents that we had. Also, too, we had only 1 structural fire, and which was the structural fire at Grosley. And also, too, we did not have record any physical assault. But that is not to say that these incidents may not have happened. A lot of them we have realized over the past that they happened and they did not reported. A lot of times we have had accidents also and that go unreported. And the public move in and persons are transported and so on. But what we responded to, yes, I must say that there was a reduction in the number of calls this weekend.
The St. Lucia Fire Service remains dedicated to serving the needs of the general public in times of emergencies. It's now time for the sports news with Tennyson Glasgow.